And welcome back to Punchline. Nairobi Speaker Beatrice Elachi returned to office recently after a year of staying away. Her dramatic re-entry has been credited to the support of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who asked his party to support her return. In addition, Governor Mike Sonko has also endorsed her return and has asked MCAs to support her. But there is speculation rife that should the governor be indicted on corruption charges, that she is next in line to succeed him. She joins us now live in studio alongside the Westlands Member of Parliament, who will be speaking to us a little later in this discussion. And so let's begin from that point. Governor, you've seen it. I mean, Speaker, you've seen it everywhere, so you don't give me that look. You've seen it on Twitter, you've seen it on Facebook. People alleging that you are next in line to succeed the governor, especially in a scenario where he does not have a deputy governor and with allegedly charges looming.
Well, first of all, and let me thank you and also thank the President and the Right Honourable Prime Minister and indeed Sonko for my return back to the County Assembly. But to say that I know Kenyans talk a lot of things, and to me, to tell me today here that you allege I'll be the governor, I just want to inform Nairobians, we voted for Sonko. We fully voted for him. We knew his style of leadership, and we are waiting Sonko to finish his 5 years. And I think that is what God has given him. For me, God has given me to be the Speaker of Nairobi. And I think Kenyans forget that Sonko is an orphan. I think sometimes we forget. You know, Sonko doesn't have a mother or a father. He has his God. He's going to finish his 5 years. The issues of EACC and all that, he will go through the way any other governor is going through. And if they have nothing, because Nairobi, Anne, is so unique. And I've always said the only father of Sonko that's there is the President, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And he is the one who has supported Sonko since he was senator. You've talked about him going the route that every other governor who's been charged with corruption or is facing issues with the ACC is going. And this is exactly what pundits are citing. They're citing the recent High Court ruling that stated that once a state officer is charged in court, they should step aside. And obviously, you know the scenario that is playing out in Kiambu. Are you telling Nairobians that that's not going to happen? And we are saying, when I look at the issues, I don't know whether the issues we are looking at are the issues that are in the newspapers, because I don't know whether we've decided to take Sonko through a newspaper. That's the court. I think we need to wait for the real court, unless we are trying to tell His Excellency Governor Sonko that you also need to do your replies in a newspaper, which I think is very wrong. And the cases that I look at, one of the cases that is a pull and push of Governor Sonko right now is a case of, is it Shimolatewa? And for me, Shimolatewa, if Sonko was an MP, then he became a senator. Is it today that we've realized he indeed was in Shimolatewa? And when I look at the same case, it's within the same courts that the judges decided to acquit him. So if we come up again and say the same court did wrong to acquit Sonko at that time, and it was contempt of court of not appearing in court, surely there's a bigger issue for Sonko than what I see. So what do you attribute what is going on? And you've talked about Shimolatewa. I mean, and those are newspaper reports. The same reports are indicating that the same prison is now recommending that he should, quote, serve the time that, you know, was left to be served. I think there were 2 sentences that were meant to be running concurrently for about a year. I mean, and you are quite right in saying the system, if you were to use that term, has all along known the issues surrounding the governor. So why do you think all this is happening now? Well, for me, all this is happening because of politics. And today I want to be very honest. Number one, I know not very many people were very happy Beatrice Elachi to come back as a speaker. I will tell you, many, 90% would say no, because nobody believed we can even come back. That is one thing Sonko is being hit very hard about. And I'll say it without, in God's eyes, that I had myself on a phone, Sonko being questioned, huyo mwanamke amerudi kwa nini? In Swahili. And so, there are many intrigues than that. Sonko is fighting a second battle over land in South Sea, a land that was of ECD, a land that now has a mall that is going to 4th floor. That is the battle Sonko is going to fight. Why? And for me, the question is not about how Governor Sonko is fighting it. The question is objectively, if indeed ESCC was able to bring back the land that was with Rose, Jerry, and were able to do a consent, and if this other land in South Sea is a land that we are saying that, look, this is a land that was of ECD. The residents of South Sea have decided, bring back our land. All
right, so you're saying it's politics and corruption fighting back. I want to bring in Tim Wanyonyi, and I believe we do have Janet Ouko on the line. Janet, I hope you can hear us now and can interject. She's basically saying that what Nairobi MPs did this week was playing politics, and we did in fact see that after the statement you released. We saw CECs coming out to say no, that the county is functioning. We saw a section of MCAs also rebuffing what you said, and the speaker as well. What prompted Nairobi MPs to act now, and how can it not be divorced from city politics?
Thank you, Anne. You know, we are elected leaders. And Nairobi has got various levels of elected leaders. We have the governor, we have the senator, we have our women representatives, we have members of parliament, we have MCS. And all of us, constitutionally, we are mandated with the power to oversight government, both national and county government. And our constituencies are within Nairobi County. And all of us have got issues of development, issues of services to the people, and we have the promises, we have the mandate, we have the manifestos that we drafted and promised the people of Kenya that this is what we are going to do during the term that we are in the office. And at my backyard, if I look at some of the things that are supposed to be done by the county government. By the way, people have not yet moved away from the old order to the new order, which is now we have a devolved system of government, and previously we had just one government, a national government. There are services that are committed to the county government. There are services that are committed to the national government. And sometimes these services, they come together. And when I see
You're saying people expect you to carry out the governor's functions.
And people, when I go to my constituency, if there's nothing working, it is me. They don't ask about the governor, they don't ask about the MCA, they don't ask about any other elected leader.
So you're feeling the political pressure?
We feel the heat. And we come and ask. I have even sometimes called even the governor. I've called his ministers. I've called some of the officers in his office and asked them about some functions. I have seen a road in my constituency which they put there, one of these signposts indicating that this road is being done by the county government since November last year. Nothing has been done. When I mobilized and I went to Kera, and Kera came to wanted to do that road, the county government came and stopped it. And sometimes, you know, that's now where people don't see it differently. They'll just see the member of parliament has failed.
Right. And part of what you have claimed in terms of development, you've said that as of October 2019, according to the MPs, not a single cent has been used. Not a single cent has been used on development in the 2018-2019 budget. How can you substantiate such a claim?
We will say it. Okay, from my backyard, I can speak from Westlands. I would like to see the item that was budgeted for in Westlands that has been done. I don't see anything. If there is, maybe I've not seen. So, and other members are also speaking from knowledge, from information from their own backyard. And the senators, actually they are the ones directly involved in oversighting the county government. And you realize when we are giving the statement, the person even who read the statement was the Senator of Nairobi, Senator Sakaja. And that is speaking from information that has been derived from the Auditor General.
Okay. Janet, let's bring you in if you can hear us. And you've heard, I believe, what Tim has said, that this is information they have from the Auditor General, that monies have not been used yet. At the same time, all one needs to do is to go online and see the numerous projects that the governor says he has done, including refurbishment of stadia, equipping of hospitals, etc. Is it possible that projects are being done without using the monies that were allocated to the county? So, I mean, who would be responsible for that?
I think the biggest tragedy that we have to address tonight is listening to the Speaker of Nairobi County speaking as though she is the mouthpiece of the governor, and forgetting that she actually heads the oversight arm of the county assembly, which today I do not think this show in any way is discussing Mike movie Sonko, but this discussion of today is a big indictment on the county assembly of Nairobi that has failed to provide the requisite oversight. For example, the Speaker should be telling us how it is only the county of Nairobi that is operating without county secretary, for example, without deputy governor, for example, without CCs, without chief officers. I think there are about 12 chief officers. Does she think that that is not important? And if so, why can't Nairobi County lead by pronouncing itself? Let's change the County Government Act so that then a lot of these positions then are declared redundant. And I think from what the members of parliament are saying, I'm really happy, because it looks like they have looked at the Nairobi County Assembly as currently constituted, and they have decided, for the sake of Nairobians, let them ask the right questions for the people of Nairobi. And I could tell you there is more than meets the eye, and especially on the issues of tendering and so on and so forth, and even going beyond the tendering processes. Nairobians should ask themselves questions, for example, who are these people that make it so hard, even for example, even some of the members of parliament, if they would open up, they would tell you a lot of them operate in fear. For example, after they did the presser, you saw online, there were so many messages attacking some of them are declared bisexual and all those manner of things, to tell you that the manner in which the Nairobi County government is operating at this moment is operating by goons. And those goons apparently are funded by the county government of Nairobi. I would expect those to be the issues that really bother the Speaker of a county assembly of Nairobi, and not really to tell us who is the mother of who and who is the father of who.
Right, Janet, let me hold you there. Let me hold you there, Janet, because you've made very many important points, and I want to dissect one by one. And I think you're talking about the 6,000 youth issue, which we'll come back to. But just very quickly, if I could get a direct answer to my question, is it possible that no money has been spent, that has been allocated to the county this year for development, as members of parliament are claiming? And if that is the case, then to what do you attribute what the government alleges has been work being done in all these different areas? Very quickly, if you could, a 30-second answer.
I could, without fear of contradiction, say yes, it is possible that no amounts have been spent in the financial year of 2018-2019, and really say that there was a lot of goodwill from the national government, including projects such as the Nairobi Regeneration Project that has commissioned so many roads projects, for example. Those could be the ones that maybe we are seeing launched all over the place. And then also there are projects with the World Bank that had been begun by the previous governor, but then works was in the process. For example, the markets that we are seeing, the data center. So that could probably be what we are seeing as a development project.
Let me have the Speaker now respond to what you said. And it is true, and you have acknowledged at the start of this program, that in part you do owe your return to the county to the support of the governor as well as other actors, including His Excellency the President and the former Prime Minister. But be that as it may, you are the head of an organ that is supposed to provide oversight, and as such you're expected to be an independent arbiter. You have spoken clearly on this program in favor of the governor. How then can Nairobians trust you to be independent and impartial when debate comes to the House?
Well, in terms of independent, we will be independent. In terms of being objective, we will be objective. And why we are being objective is because we pass the budget. And when we pass that budget, we pass the budget based on the programs that have been put in place. And you remember, even when the county assembly was in its own conflict, some members were complaining that we find some of the wards that have more money, like 500 million being in one ward and the rest don't have money. And we agreed with Governor Sonko that we are going to relook and ensure we have equity in terms of distribution of that money. In terms of development, I mean, let us be honest that one, whether it's within a project of World Bank, yes, before World Bank comes within to do any project, it is the county that has to agree with World Bank. So it does not matter whether it's World Bank money. What matters is, has the county agreed with the conditions of World Bank to be able to do their project?
I suppose where people think it matters is then, so where are the revenues, where are the allocations that we've talked about that have been collected, the division of revenue?
Let me come to that. We talk as if Nairobi is a new county. Nairobi is a county that has pending bills of more than 60 billion. That is not Sonko's bills. Those are bills that have accumulated for many years, meaning even the members of parliament would have sat down and asked themselves, since our county has quite huge pending bills, and to look at Sonko's 2 years, by the way, he doesn't have statutory pending bills. He's been trying to pay his own statutory bills in terms of the 2 years he's been there. In 2 years, we have never seen workers of Nairobi County go on strike because of salaries. They are paid on 25th. We have refused to acknowledge that they pay exactly 1 billion shillings for salaries. And if today Sonko says, I am about to remove the same members of parliament who 80% were county council members are the ones who employed these people. They are the same, and that's why I'm saying Nairobi is in a racket where you find the people who are blaming Sonko are the same people who have been in the county assembly for 20 years. Some of them have been mayors, meaning every trouble that you left behind, you're expecting Governor Sonko to clear in 1.5 years.
Tim, let me let you respond to what you said.
You know, Anne, we deal with issues. And we raised pertinent issues in our statement. I would have expected the county government to deal with those issues instead of going for character assassination, for attacking other people, for doing all side shows. It is issue by issue. If they are there, they tell us this has been done, this money has been sent in this way, because we are the ones who pass the budget in Parliament.
She specifically said that it doesn't matter whether it's World Bank money that is being used to build roads and do etc. Do you have a response to that?
It matters because that money is given to a particular agency to implement it. World Bank does not come here to implement the projects. It will be given to the county government, it will be given to the national government. If it's given to the national government, it will be assigned specifically to a particular agency. For example, the National Highway Authority that maybe deals with the construction of highways. And if it's given to the county government will sit down and see the areas of priority where that money will go. For example, maybe the construction of markets or roads or anything like that. So the money coming from the national government or the national or World Bank or whichever other source, that money still has to be accounted for.
Okay. Yeah. Janet, let me come to you for a final time. And part of what you talked about was 6,000 youth. These claims that you're making are claims that were also made by the former Speaker Abdi Guyo and legislators last week. They talked about 6,000 youth who are not under any contract but are paid through the county suspense account. And both of these groups alleged that they're being used by the governor to cause mayhem, I beg your pardon, and inflict injury when he feels threatened. At the time that you were in the county executive, were you aware of a county suspense account that was being used to do any such thing?
The correct position would be that it is very possible that I am a county executive committee member of Sonko's government, yet I do not understand quite a lot of the happenings because of the manner in which the governor wants to run the county. So you would only, he would only interact with you on a very small line, and that is the line that concerns you. So it is possible that there was a suspense account, but so many CCs, not only myself, but so many would not know. But I think there is a point that the members of parliament are raising, and the point goes deeper, even beyond the 6,000 casual workers, who, for example, is in the liquor board, all the way from the county structure through to the 17 sub-counties. Who are those that have occupied those positions? Who are in the betting control board? And these are people who are on the payroll of the county, and they're the people that the governor is using to intimidate people. I would refer you to the Boulevard press conference, and the very people that were in that photo beating up one Muriuki are the same people that are in this position. So you wonder, how is the conduct of people that have been paid using taxpayers' money? Don't we have conduct, anymore? What is their professional value, So there is a point that the members of parliament are raising. All right, thank you, Janet, and for your contribution tonight. As we conclude, let me start with that, because alongside these claims of intimidation, harassment, violence, the members of parliament have also claimed that the county assembly that you preside over, the same county assembly which we constantly see in turmoil, is being run with an iron fist, with the same kind of intimidation that is preventing MCAs from being able to hold the governor to account. Are you aware that you are presiding over an assembly of an intimidated and frightened lot who have even been subjected to violence by account of what members of parliament said last week?
Well, one of the things I know about the county assembly is that the county assembly is not intimidated. And that is why when they wake up even themselves to do whatever they're doing, they do it themselves. So there is no intimidation in terms of who they are, that they can use other people to come and do the conflicts that they have. But at the same time, let's go now to the issues of what the governor has done in 1.5 years. And
I'll allow you to respond to that, but you're basically saying that that is not an intimidated assembly.
It's not an intimidated. In fact, them themselves know how to, and you
to intimidate others.
Okay, so let us not lie, and yet we see on media what happens.
What about the 6,000 youths that all these groups are alleging are being used as some sort of gang to intimidate leaders?
I would ask, really, can you sustain? Right now, even in Nairobi, I know we've been trying to push, even the governor himself, to try and ensure those who are supposed to go on retirement to go. But what has held us is that the previous governments that have been there, none of them was able to ensure there is pension money for these people. So you have to rethink and ask yourself, where am I getting the pension to release the old so that you bring in the new? So if you say you have another 6,000 people you are paying, the liquor board is a board that is within an act. And therefore, it will have its structures so well. And do you want to tell me the Auditor General, Anne, is unable to pick this and show that there's 6,000 people who are being paid who are not on a payroll?
Okay, fair comment.
It will be unfair for us to say that.
Finally, we've just got about a minute to split between the two of you. Tim, you have, as leaders, said that, and we saw Simbarati speaking there, that you too have followers, is what you said. You too have followers, and that if there isn't a change in the way the county is run, then the governor would know that the collective of the members of parliament who came there also have their followers, and they would do what it takes to ensure a change in leadership. Those sounded like some very frightful words. What exactly does it mean? And do you believe that at the point where we are with even members of parliament making statements like that, that this is a county that can continue to run? Is it time to put into force articles of the constitution that can allow for the suspension of a county government until the matter is sorted out?
I don't think that was what we really meant, because the county government is constitutionally constituted and is elected, and their failures will be accounted for at the right time. But if there is any gross misconduct, that's what the constitution says. If there's gross misconduct, somebody, any citizen of Kenya, can bring up a motion or a petition to petition the president that the county government can be dissolved on account of gross misconduct, either of the governor or whoever is in charge of that. And number two, the county government, as constituted, has two arms. There's an arm of the executive and there's arm of county assembly, and the two must work. They must work independently, but they must also collaborate, because the governor is the executive arm. Then the county assembly is the legislative wing that must work to preside and oversight the county government. So if they fail in their mandate, then something will be amiss somewhere. because they must account for the money they have appropriated to the executive to spend on projects and development. Yeah.
Beatrice, you have 30 seconds. We're literally out of time.
Well, one, I would want to say the World Bank projects are going on very well. The markets are there. Wakulima new market is coming up. Mheshimiwa knows very well. City market is a county market. It's about to end. And I know Sonko has done a lot in Pumwani. He now has a way of ensuring we have milk in Pumwani. You've looked at Mama Lucy. He's ensuring that, yes, indeed, Mama Lucy is going on very well. We will want us to agree that in terms of 1.5 years, Sonko has performed better than any other governor who has been there. Let's be honest on that.
And that's the Speaker of the County Assembly, ma'am. I'm sorry, we are absolutely out of time. They're going to fade us out. I'm sorry. We're going to have to take a break. Director, are you giving us those 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
All right.
Lastly, we cannot say it's a city of shame. The garbage that used to be there, the piles in Wakulima, are no longer there. We know we have a problem with water, but we know that right now we are doing boreholes. So as we hit on Sonko, on other issues, political issues, let us not bring in the development agenda. As we look at the county assembly, we will indeed oversight Governor Sonko. That one, I will assure, and he doesn't fear that. But what we are saying, we are going to support the president, because he has said we must work together to see Nairobi get services. And that's our time. We're taking a short break. We're back with the sport, and after that, our punchline.
Punchline was powered